So you can say that physical layer consists of hardware and sensors. Network and communication layer consists of network and communication layer protocols like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and all. Then comes transport and application layer protocol. Here we talk about software protocols like TCP, UDP, application layer protocols like HTTP, MQTT, and CoAP, AMQP, XMPP. All right. And then it comes the edge device and computing layer where we design some edge computing devices, IoT gateway. Then it comes up cloud computing, analytics, and designing some apps development. Okay. So this is what we talk about this part in. So let me know if this idea architecture is clear, everyone. If you have any question into this part. Okay. So if you have any question, I'll request you to just look into. There's a brief discussion about this particular part into videos part, so I'll request you to look into that part. Then idea of microcontrollers. All right. So microcontrollers is like we started with microcontrollers is like programmable system on chip and Arduinos. So the basics of Arduinos requires like this Arduino Uno board on which you have the Atmega 328 microcontroller along with the digital input output pins and analog input output pins. So A0 to 13 is digital input, digital output. A0 to A5 is analog input pins. And then you have USB plug to connect this to PC and program it. So LED blinking program, proximity sensors. Proximity sensor is something that we will look after now. We will be starting with this. So very simple program that we did is LED blinking program. So let's go ahead now and so this is what we have discussed so far into previous videos like IoT introduction, requirement for designing IoT device, IoT architecture, Arduino, and LED blinking. We have discussed about digital write, like syntaxes like digital write, analog write, digital read, analog read, pin mode. Digital write is whenever you want to program any device and you want to program a digital output device. Analog write when analog output device. Digital read, digital input device, analog read, analog input device. Pin mode is to decide a mode whether you want to use particular pin as input mode or output mode. Okay, and for communication, CL.begin, CL.print, CL.read. Okay, begin is for baud rate part, print is for sending data, read is for receiving data. Now we'll start with proximity sensors. So today's part is mostly dedicated to sensors. So what we'll be doing today is discussing a very brief idea of sensors. We'll be working with a variety of sensors including proximity sensors, including the DHT11 temperature and humidity sensors. And we'll also be working with the ultrasonic sensors that we're having for detection of distance. All right. And along with that, we'll be along with the ultrasonic sensors part, we'll be also working with some variety of other communication protocols. We'll be discussing about a very good idea of the current IoT market into India, in which the communication protocols are playing a very good role for telecom industry, for IT industry, and for also non-IT industry as well. Like currently, like the biggest market player protocols are Sigfox, LoRa, NB-IoT. So what are those and what sort of significance we have with them? So a very good discussion on that we're going to have, and that is very important discussion. Everyone, that is one of the very important discussion which we will be having. We'll be looking also at a couple of demos of that, and practically we'll start working with Bluetooth today. Probably tomorrow we might start with Wi-Fi as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So first part, sensors. What sensors do is like you can say sensors are gonna convert the environmental physical quantity, whatever we have environmental physical quantities, into electrical signal. Okay, so they simply convert whatever environmental physical quantity. For example, the environmental physical quantities could be light, temperature, it could be humidity, it could be pressure, gas. All this environmental physical quantity they convert into electrical signals. So sensors are one of the most important you can say endpoints into IoT architecture system, because sensors are the one you see. Why we talk about more about IoT is something like we say that yes, IoT is all about making things, machines, devices, physical objects to create, generate data. And sensors are the core point, which are actually the data generating points. Okay, so we're going to work with variety of sensors today. So one of them is like proximity sensors. Now, proximity sensor is something. The meaning of proximity is what? Nearness. All right. So it's like what? It helps you to detect object, detect the presence of object, detect the presence of object. Okay, detect the simple presence of objects. So if you want to detect similar sensors you find also in your smartphone, in just nearby your front camera, you have two small tiny horns in your smartphone. That is proximity sensor. That actually helps you out whenever you are on call and you put your phone on your ears. So your chick might touch the touch screen and it might disconnect the phone. So your smartphone actually understands smartly that yes, whenever you're putting your phone on ears, it should switch off the screen and so that the call should not get disconnected. So proximity sensors actually senses that whenever you're putting your phone while you're on call on your nearby your ears, and it switches off the backlight. Okay, so that's the basic idea of proximity sensors, and it is used simply to detect the presence of any object in and around. Variety of applications like uh, a lot of applications that we see. Smartphone is something that is always carrying, we always carry with us, which contains a proximity sensor. Along with that, if you go to multiplexes and malls, you put your hand in under the tap and water comes up. That's an example of proximity sensors. All right, and similarly, like there are a couple of others as well. In industry, product detection, the edge detection, variety of sensors are used. All right, the level detection, surface detection, variety of proximity sensors are used. Okay, so the one we are going to use is a sample proximity sensor, which works on the IR principle. Okay, so first we'll not discuss about the principle part. We'll discuss about the principle after checking the working of it. So I hope all of you have this sensor. Let me know if you have this sensor in your kit. Just take out the sensor, particular sensor from your kit, and you must be having a couple of wires as well. Let me know if you can, Mr. Amit. Probably you would have received that. Okay, okay, okay. Probably like this something. This is something that you will not be able to try out on the simulation portal as well. So that's the key. Others, I hope all of you have this sensor. Let me know. Mr. Amit, then you will have to try out like I'll be showing you mine one, but you'll have to try out this after the session. I mean, once you get that. Others, let me know. Shawanti ma'am, I hope you could find this sensor, particular sensor. And okay, Bharti ma'am, I hope you could find the sensor. Mr. Ramchandra, you can find the sensor. Mr. All right, all of you, I hope you have the sensor, right? Okay, let me know if. Okay, so this sensor is a simple proximity sensor which is used to detect the presence of object. Now, what you do is take out the three wires from the kit, like you might be having male to female wires. So take out the simple three wires from the kit and uh, connect the proximity sensor in such a way where I'll show you how we connect the proximity sensor. Well, this is not being available over here. Let me write the connection. So you can see on the proximity sensor you have three pins out here. One of them is written as VCC and ground and output. Okay, so do one thing on Arduino. You have 5-volt pin. So connect VCC to 5-volt pin and ground to ground. Okay, so on Arduino you have 5-volt and ground pin, and connect VCC to 5-volt and ground to ground. If you do that, just do two connections, only two wires. Okay, I'm also going to show you the wires. All right. Let me check with that. Let me show you that. Just a second. Let me show you my sensor. So far you can do this sensor, and put the sensor up, and you'll find that whenever you put an object in front of the sensor, you'll find the LED shows you presence of object. Okay, let me show you my sensor so far. Well, this is actually betraying me. Alright, everyone, so I'll show you the connections. How to do connections? Pretty simple. You see, connections are very simple one, like 192.168.43.180. Here we go, and let me show you connections, which is going to be pretty simple. So this is my Arduino, you can see over here. All right, and yeah, that's my Arduino. All right, I hope you all have your Arduino ready. And yes, here we go. And let's say that here we go with the particular sensor that we're having. So you all of could find the sensor in your particular kit, and let us say my sensor is this one. Okay, and you can see on the sensor you have VCC, ground, and output. Like on your sensor also you might be having VCC, ground, and output. Probably the order might be different, so no need to worry about the order part, but you should be able to find out the VCC, ground, and output, the 3 pins on the sensor. Okay, and what you need to do is, you can see over here on Arduino as well, you have 5-volt and ground pins. All right, you can see over here that on Arduino you have 5-volt and ground pins. You can see over here 5-volt and ground. 2 ground pins are there actually, so you can use any of the ground pins. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to connect one any color wire. You can use any color wire, and I'm going to connect that on my 5-volt pin. I'll connect that on my 5-volt pin, you can see over here, and the same wire I'm going to connect that to the VCC of my sensor. Very simple connection. Okay, similarly I'm going to take another wire, any color wire you can take, male to female wire. All right, I'm going to connect this wire on the ground pin over here, and the ground wire I'm going to connect on the ground pin of my sensor. You can keep your sensor power on or off, it's up to you. And later you can connect your Arduino. You see, you connect your Arduino to USB. This my Arduino connected to USB, so you can connect your Arduino to USB, and that's what, it will be powered up. And you can see your sensor is also powered up. And now you see the sensor, if there's no object, the LED is off, but if I put an object in front of it, you can see it is detecting the presence of object. The sensor is simply detecting the presence of object. Okay, it is able to detect the presence of any particular object in front of it. So any object you place, it will be able to detect the presence of that particular object. Okay, so I hope the sensor is working properly for all of you. Let me know if it is working properly. It is able to detect the presence of object in front of it. All right, you can see over here, if I press my hand, there's a question how many meters it will work. Well, the range of this particular sensor, proximity sensors, this particular sensor is going to have around up to 3 to 4 centimeters. Okay, so it will not. I mean, these proximity sensors are not meant for meters. For that, we have other sensor, that is what ultrasonic sensor, which is gonna work around 2 meters, 2 to 3 meters. There's a question where we have to connect the wire in Arduino. On Arduino, you see you have 5 volt and ground wire. I'll show you here. You see, this is your Arduino, and here we go. On this, you can see this is your Arduino, and on this you have here 5 volt pin. You can see on the Arduino here you have the 5 volt pin, and here you have ground pin. Okay, so ground and 5 volt. So 5 volt will go to VCC and ground will go to ground. This 5 volt is going to go to VCC of sensor, and always ground is going to go to ground sensor. You see, every peripheral device which we connect with Arduino needs power supply. Okay, so if it needs power supply, you can use these pins to provide it power supply. Okay, let me know if it is working for all of you. Okay, no issues. I'll show you again. You see, the connection is pretty simple. All right, the connection is pretty simple. I'll show you the connections part. Let me take one Arduino from here. Arduino, Okay, let's say that this is your Arduino, not this one. Well, this one is good. Yeah. Okay, let's say that this is your Arduino board. I'm going to take an image and I'm going to copy it to here. So let's say that this is your Arduino board. Quite friendly I took. Yeah, this is much better. This is Arduino board, and similarly, let me take an IR sensor here. So let's say that we have IR sensor as well, and that's it. That is here. Well, let's say this one. In any of them, names are not properly written. That's a tricky part. Okay, and let's say that. Any of them? Come on, come on. I'm not getting any picture. Probably. Okay, maybe. Here we come up. So let's say that this is your Arduino board, and how do you set it up? It's pretty simple. Here we go with this part. So let us say that this is the sensor board of yours, all right, and this is sensors. And here you have a couple of LEDs out here. So let's say that two LEDs in this front panel you have. That's going to become like this. So let's say these are two LEDs you have. And here you have 3 pins, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these are the 3 pins you're having, and yes, that's what we're done with. 2 LEDs you have, 3 pins you have, done you are. And what you need to do is, let's say that these 3 pins are, this one is VCC, if it is original VCC, according to order you have to take. Okay, so if this is your VCC, and similarly if this is your ground, and that's what, if this is your ground, and similarly if this is your output. Well, sensor part we cannot do actually in Tinkercad, Mr. Amit. That's the one of the issue. We cannot simulate both in Tinkercad. That's one of the issue. Okay. So now what you need to do is simply take the VCC and take a wire from VCC and connect it to simple 5 volt of Arduino. Okay. Connect it to 5 volt of Arduino. Done you are. First connection. Second connection is going to be pretty simple. Take a wire from ground and connect it to ground of Arduino. Okay, that's our basic idea of you. So only these two connections you have to do, ground to ground, 5 volt to 5 volt, like that. So you can take male to female wire. There's male to female wire, and let me know if it is working up. Okay, Mr. Amit, for you I can show you here. Here we go. So there's my sensor, and you can see like I simply did the connection of the positive of the sensor is connected to 5 volt, and negative of the sensor is connected to ground part. Okay, so here you can see the connections exactly. Here you can see the connections exactly. You see red is going to 5 volt and 5 volt is going to VCC. Here yellow is going to ground, and yellow is going to ground, like that the connection is. Okay, so that's how simple connection it is. All right, so it should, I guess, work for all of you. And the sensor is going to work properly. You see, this is a sensor. When there's no object, the sensor is going to stay off. When there's object, sensor is going to come on, like this. Off when no object, on when object, off when no object, on when object, like that it will work out. So I hope it is working out for all of you. Let me know. Now what we'll do next is we'll learn first like how the sensor works out, and then we'll go into programming of the sensor. We'll try to interface the sensor with Arduino and try to get the values. Now here it's some interesting stuff coming off, and I'm expecting a lot of questions over here. Let's go ahead and work with it. So how does it works out? I hope it is working for all of you, right? Bharti ma'am, let me know if it's working for you properly. You can apply in chat box. All right. Okay, so yes, so let's go ahead, and here we can see the working idea of this. Now you see you have two stuff over here. One of the stuff is what, this white color stuff, or you might be having a blue color one, is an IR LED, or you have the black color one. Okay, you must be having two black color ones, I mean one blue and black. So the blue color one is an IR LED and the black color one is a photodiode. The black color one is a photodiode. Okay, now for what is the meaning of that? So IR LED is an LED which is emitting light of frequency infrared frequency light. So IR LED is actually an LED which is glowing but not visible to us. Okay, it's an LED which is glowing but not visible to us. If you want to see that LED glowing, you can see it in camera, because human eyes cannot see. Human eyes can only see Vibgyor range. We can only see violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So beyond red comes the infrared. Above violet comes the ultraviolet rays. So we cannot see infrared. So infrared LED is simply emitting the infrared light which we cannot see. But yeah, you can see that in camera. If you see that light in camera, you can see that it will be visible glowing. For example, in general way, it will not be visible. You see here, like if you see from a naked eyes, it will not be visible, but you can see this LED is glowing actually. In cameras, you can see it glowing. You can see here, this LED is glowing in camera. Only it is visible in camera. So this is my camera, so that I can see that, but naked eye you'll not be able to see it. Similarly, if you use smartphone camera, If you use smartphone camera, you will be able to see that this LED is actually glowing. One of the LED is actually glowing. Okay, only smartphone camera can help you out to see that. Naked eye, you will not be able to see, because our human eyes has that kind of drawback. Okay, so what is happening here? Very simple. What is happening here? Actually, so ILED is simply emitting the light, continuously emitting the light. All right, and when there is no object, that light is going straight. Okay, it is not actually spreading up. Infrared light spreads up minimum because the frequency of red is high. Sorry, low. Low frequency of red color makes it high wavelength, and high wavelength of red color makes it focused and makes it go up to long range. And that's the reason red light is simply used most of the time for signals, for traffic signals as well, for some harmful or dangers as well. All right, and that's the reason you might have seen in some of the Hollywood movies that they use red color light as a signal in case of revolvers and pistols to point out, for better pointing out and for better direction and all. So because red color light goes to long distance and it's focused. Okay, so whenever there is no object in the presence of the sensor, what will happen is the light will go straight, it will not reflect back. And whenever there is object, it will reflect back on photodiode. Now photodiode is a kind of diode which allows the current to pass through it whenever light is falling. More light, more current it will allow to pass. Less light, less current it will allow to pass. Okay, now this principle is used to detect the presence of light object. So when there will be no object, less light will be falling. When the object comes up, more light will be falling. And that principle is simply used to detect the presence of object. Okay, so this is a principle. LED is emitting one light, and if there is an object, light will reflect back from the object and it will fall on photodiode. And photodiode will simply detect that is, if the light is falling on photodiode, that means what? A current is generating from photodiode and it is allowing a current to pass through it. And that current helps us out to understand that yes, there is an object in front of the sensor. That's our simple working principle. I hope it is clear, all of you. Let me know if it is not clear. Yeah, still its range is 3 centimeter. Why? Because after you see, the frequency of this light is not that high. I mean, this LED which we are using, which is being used in this sensor, is for just use case. I mean, sample experimental purpose. Okay, if we use light with very low frequency, high wavelength, it may go up to long range. Up to long range, we can do the detection. In fact, the range can also be tuned into this one. Okay, but that to maximum it will go up to 4 to 5 centimeter, not more than that, because lights more than that will mix up with the environment light. Okay, so if you use that, probably in night time this sensor might give somewhat better range compared to daytime. In daytime it will mix up with the environment light and it will not fall back. Even it falls back, it is not necessary that it is going to fall back on exact angle at photodiode. So even if it is falling back, let's say it is reflecting back, from long distance, it will, the direction in which it can reflect back will increase, so it will not again reflect back completely on photodiode. That's the reason this sensor cannot be used for long range communication, long range distance measurement, or long range object detection. I hope I'm clear. The angle of, you see, the angle of reflection will not remain same. Angle of reflection will deviate much whenever the distance is increasing. So the probability that the light is going to fall back only on photodiode, or most of the light is going to fall back on photodiode, will decrease and will keep on decreasing as soon as the distance is increasing. So this sensor can be used to detect the presence in nearby object, not much far away. I hope I'm clear with the concept part, everyone, how the sensor works out. Let me know if that part is clear. Okay, so still what we have done is, like, we have simply applied power supply to the sensor. We have simply given power supply to the sensor, nothing more than that. Okay, now what we are going to check out is we'll be checking out that how do we program with the sensor. I mean, once we program the sensor, what kind of output we get from the sensor part, that is what we're going to check out. Okay, so we're going to program this particular sensor and get the output from this particular sensor. All right, that's main objective of us. So get the output in the sense, right now we are able to see the output only because there is an LED on the sensor. If there is no LED, we will not be able to see the output. Okay, only because there is a single LED on the sensor, we are able to see the output part. So now what we'll be doing is, we have an output pin on the sensor as well. Okay, so the output pin on the sensor, will be trying to connect that to Arduino. On Arduino, you can see over here you have got A0 to A15. Sorry, not 15. you can see over here A0 to A5. These pins are here which has analog inputs. Okay, so these pins are having analog inputs. They can be used for interfacing analog input device, and sensors are, most of the sensors gives you analog input. So this sensor can be easily interfaced with A0 to A5, and the value of the sensor which can be, we can read here between A0 to A5. Okay, by interfacing between A0 to A5. So anywhere you can interface, it's up to us which pin we want to program. So what we'll do next is we'll write a program in Arduino where we'll try to interface this sensor with any pin of Arduino, and we will try to read the value of the sensor. That is our main objective. I hope I'm clear with this, everyone. Let me know if I'm clear, if you have any question in this. What we are going to do next and what is our objective? Okay, the objective is clear, everyone. That is, we're going to connect sensor on A0 to A5 anywhere. Let us say that I'm going to connect it on A2. Okay, so I'm going to connect on A2, and from A2 I'll be like connecting the output pin of the sensor. We have 3 pins in the sensor. So the output pin, like 2 pins we have already connected. The output pin of the sensor will connect to A2, and we'll try to program Arduino so that we can see the value of sensor. We can see whenever there is object and no object what Arduino understands. Okay, so let's go ahead and write a program. So all of you can open Arduino software. I hope all of you you already have the software. Let me know. So let me know once you are done with once you are done with installation. I mean, opening of software. I hope all of you would have opened the software part so far. Okay. So no need to. I mean, not necessary to remove this part as such. Okay. So here we'll define int sensor pin equal to A2. Let's say that sensor pin where we are going to interface the output of the sensor is A2, and then here, as the sensor pin can only be used, the A0 to A5 can only be used for analog input devices. So we do not need to define the pin mode. Okay, we don't need to define the pin mode part. So what we'll do is next, for reading the value of sensor, you see sensors are what we are interfacing it on analog input device. So whenever you want to take analog input, which syntax we should use? Whenever we want to take input and that to analog input, which syntax we should use? Yeah, I hope all of you agree that yes, we should use analog read. You see, I'll repeat again, digital output. So whenever it is output, you write, and input you read. So analog input, analog read, digital input, digital read, analog output, analog write, digital output, digital write. Like that, the syntax will be. I hope I'm clear with that. Okay, so here we're going to use analog read to read the value of sensor. So you can say int value or val equals to analog read. In that we're going to pass the sensor pin. So sensor pin. Okay, now we want to see this value. Okay, how do we see this value, everyone? So if you want to see this value, what you can do is we can simply send it to PC. Okay, we can simply send it to PC via serial communication. Okay, so what you can do is over here we can write serial dot begin 9600 bits per second. Okay, that's the data rate. We have defined data rate, that is the serial dot begin data rate 9600 bits per second. And now next part what we'll do is we'll try to send the data val to PC. So for that we'll do serial dot print ln val, and we'll put a small delay. So let's say the delay is of around 100 milliseconds. Okay, so that's a basic program for interfacing this sensor. So how do you interface this sensor? Using the syntax analog read. Analog read is the main syntax which is making us read the value of sensor, and then we are sending that value to PC. How we are sending that value to PC? By doing serial communication. Why we are sending? Because on Arduino we don't have a screen where we can see the value of sensor. We don't have anything where we can see the value of sensor, right? So what we can do is Arduino is connected with PC via serial cable, USB cable. So we can make Arduino read the value of sensor and send it to PC, so that on PC we have got screen. So that same value of PC, whatever Arduino is sending it to PC, we can see on uh, PC. Okay, on serial monitor. For that we are using serial communication. So here we define serial.begin 9600, that's the data rate, and serial.print, that's a simple sending data to PC. Okay. So I hope I'm clear with this, everyone. Let me know if you have any question doubt in this. There's the main program. So I'll request all of you, if your program is clear to all, so just go ahead and upload the program. Select the board and make sure the program, I mean the board is Arduino Uno itself. Like in my case, it was not, in your case it must be Uno, and the board is COM16. Select and upload program. You can simply upload the program. So once the program is uploaded, then make sure that you connect the output of the sensor to output pin, or that is A2. Okay, so I'm going to connect that. I'm going to do that connection, simply connecting the output pin of the sensor to A2. And after that, to check the value, you need to open the serial monitor. Okay, so you need to go to tools and open serial monitor, and here you can see the value of sensor. So make sure that the baud rate is 9600, and here you can see the value of sensor. So right now it is shown that 9 or 3 or 3, like that the values are, all right, or 2 1 2 2 2 low values. When I put the object in front of sensor, I'm getting somewhere 76 71 79, like that, 700 values. Again I remove the object, the sensors is having minimum value. When I put the object, maximum value, minimum, maximum. Okay, so like that you should be able to observe two different types of values when you put the object and when you remove the object. What are these values actually, and what is the significance of these values, that we'll see. First let me know, are you getting two values and two different values when you open the serial monitor, and you connect your output pin of the sensor to output pin, and upload the program, so like that. So upload it and let me know if you're getting that, everyone, the two different values. Let me know if it is working. If it is not working, then also let me know. We'll see that part. We'll repeat again. Okay, just check it out. Let me know if it is working for all of you. object, no object, like that, object, no object, object, no object, like that. So you should be able to observe the presence of object, and by changing, I mean by getting different values over here. Let me know, there Bharti ma'am, let me know if it is clear, if it is working for you. Mr. Prashant, let me know. Shanti ma'am, let me know if it is working for you. All right. So let me know if it is not clear. You want me to repeat again? Let me know that as well. I hope it is working for all of you. Let me know if it is. Oh, well, it's not working. Well, how far you're done, ma'am? Can you tell me how far you're done? Was the sensor part working for you? The presence of object was being detected. That part was working. Okay. All right. I hope you have the kit, right? I hope you have got the kit, right? Okay, great. So, like, I hope you could find the components, IR sensor and Arduino out of the components of the kit. IR sensor, Arduino, and USB cable. Great. So I hope once you connect this USB cable to like Arduino and my PC, the Arduino will be powered up, and then you need to take the two wires, simple two wires. You will be able to find out the two pins on the sensor, VCC and ground. The sensor will have three pins, VCC, ground, and output. Okay. So you need to just find out two pins, VCC and ground. VCC is the pin which you need to connect to 5 volt of Arduino. You can see on Arduino you have 5 volt somewhere. Okay, there you have 5 volt pin of Arduino. You can see here you have 5 volt pin over here, and ground pin to ground of sensor. Ground pin to ground of sensor. If you do the simple connection, then you check the sensor by putting the object in front of hand. I mean hand in front of the sensor. It should work out. It should be able to detect the presence of object. Let me know if it is. Let me know if it is working out. Sensor is working out properly. Let me know if it is working, ma'am. Shawanti ma'am, let me know if it is working for you. Great. Now what you do is, like, you see output pin is empty. Okay, so now connect the output pin to A2. You see how A2 pin over here. All right, A2 pin, output pin to A2. So connect this output pin to A2 by using another wire. So if you connect that to A2, that's what we do as a connection, output pin to A2, and then you do this program, upload the program to this particular program. I'm going to copy and paste the program in chat box. So though I'll recommend all of you to check out the program over here, write the program in Arduino and upload the program to Arduino. Let me know once you're done with that. Okay, you can get that from this particular link. Well, it is not installing near this system, so you can get that from this particular link. You can click on this Windows installer. Click on Windows install and get it downloaded and get it installed. Okay, so you can get it from there here, and then you can do this part. So others, I hope you're all if you're done with that. Mr. Prashant, let me know if you're done with that. Great. I hope you're able to analyze the two different values of the sensors. All right, the numerical values. We'll discuss what are those values actually up. Okay, how to get the output board is, I hope Shanti ma'am, have you uploaded the program? Have you uploaded the program properly? Uploaded the program as well. It is showing done uploading, right? So now you go to tools option and click on serial monitor. Tools option, click on serial monitor, and here you will be able to see the values. Okay, check out different values, like when there is object, when there is no object, different values you should be able to analyze. Whenever there is an object and there is no object, like that, different values you should be able to analyze. Like you see, when there is no object, I'm getting low values. When there is object, I'm getting high values. 728. No object, low values. Object, high values. No object, low values. Object, high values. Okay. I hope you're getting this part. And I hope your sensor is connected. Your sensor is connected. The output pin of the sensor is connected to the output pin of the sensor is connected to A2. Let me know the output pin of the sensor is connected to A2 and you're getting different values. Mr. Prasant, I hope your sensor might be working in opposite way. Probably when there is no object, it might be giving you values like 1019, 1029, 1039 like that. And whenever you put an object, it will give you low values 33, 34, 35, or up to 40 like that. Is it responding in that manner? Or it's responding random? If it is random response, that means what? The connection is wrong. Please check the connection that A2 is properly connected. You see the counting starts from A0. So sometimes we do connection wrong. So A2 is properly connected to pin output of pin of the sensor. Please check that as well. Let me know. Now you're getting error. All right. Do one thing, ma'am. Close the monitor. Close the serial monitor, which is displayed here. This is called serial monitor. You close this. Remove the USB from our PC and again reconnect the USB. Again that open the serial monitor. Let me know if after that it is the error is resolved or not. Let me know, Shamati ma'am. Let me know, Mr. Prasant, if your error is resolved or not. Yeah, whenever it means what, Mr. Prasant, whenever there is no object, it is showing 1019, 1020 like that. And whenever there is an object, it is showing you low values like 37, 38, 39, 49 like that. Is it the response? Is that the response that you're getting? Okay, yeah, that's what you see. There might be difference in manufacturer part. The response that I'm getting is, or most of the people might be getting is, like when there is no object, we are getting zero, and object we are getting higher values. Okay, so that's the difference in manufacturer part. The manufacturer of the sensor which you're using would have actually used inverted logic. Okay, generally what should happen when the light is falling, the voltage more should be generated, and high value we should get. Okay, so your manufacturer would have used invert logic. So whenever there's no object, high voltage is being generated, and whenever object, low voltage is being generated. Low voltage is responding you low values. Okay, we'll understand the values into this. The what are these actually values and why are we getting this particular value? Before that, everyone should get that done. Okay, Shavanti ma'am, let me know, like, are you getting the values or not? I mean, are you able to get this part? Just do one thing, Shavanti ma'am. Check out one thing on the tools option. Here on the port option, you have port selected, any of the port. You see your COM port number can be anything, but on that COM port, let's say it is COM1, so it will be written Arduino Genino Uno. That is selected, right? If it is COM1, or like in my case it is COM16, in your case it can be any other COM port. It probably you might get to see some of the COM port numbers. Probably it might show you COM5, like 2 to 3 COM port numbers, but on one of the COM port, even if it shows one, on one of the COM port, it will show you Arduino Genino Mega. Select that COM port number, and then make sure that it is selected over here. You can see it is selected over here, port COM16 Arduino Uno Mega. Then you open Seal Monitor again, and let me know if it is opening or not, whether you are getting the Seal Monitor or not. I hope you're getting the Seal Monitor. Okay, so now you can you see the two different range of values. Whenever there is object, low, I mean whenever there is no object, low values. Whenever there is object, high values. Can you see that? Analyze, like put your hand in front of the sensor and you'll find the values are increasing. When you remove your hand, the values are decreasing, like that. So, and make sure that the output pin of the sensor is connected to A2. Make sure the output pin of the sensor is connected to A2. Okay, Ramma ma'am, let me know if you got it installed. Right, it's the software it's got installed and you are getting the interface. Okay, no value is appearing. All right. Did you upload it program, right? You uploaded program and over here it is showing done uploading. You see in my case it is showing done uploading. In your case also it is showing done uploading, right? Shanti ma'am, please check. It is just showing done uploading, right? Okay. Then if it is showing done uploading, it should show you the values. No value is appearing, is it? Can you check the program? The program is same as what I have written and your program is same, right? Can you check in the code part? I hope you're not missing something from line number 1 to line number 11. Let me know if the code is proper. Yeah, if you want, I can copy and paste, but though I like, recommend you to rewrite that part. That will make you clear each and every line. Why are we writing that part? Also, make sure that every line is clear. The reason why we are writing that line. Okay, the objective should be clear initially. So later on, whatever program we write, it would be easy to understand why are we writing, what are we writing. Okay, first let's get this done, and then we'll discuss program. If you have any question into that. Okay. Uh, Rama ma'am, let me know if you got that software installed. Okay. Meanwhile, everyone, like, we can also do graphical analysis of this. Okay. So how do you do graphical analysis part? You can see the values. All right. Can you analyze the different values, like the higher values whenever there is object, and lower values whenever there is no object? You put your hand in front of the sensor and the values will be higher values. Like you see, if I put my hand in front of sensor, I'm getting 700 something, and remove hand, lower values. Okay, put your hand, higher values, remove hand, lower values. I hope you're able to observe the difference, right? Now let's see why are we getting these values. All right. Okay, let's see that why are we getting these values and what is the significance of these values, everyone. So this is very important, everyone. Please make sure that all of you are here. This is very important part of this particular section. Very important part. Make sure that all of you are here, and if you're doing anything else as well, make sure that you understand this concept, and later on you just pause for a minute. Okay, everyone, pause your work for a minute and be here. So you see, pin number A0 to A5 on which we are connecting Arduino. I mean, on which we are connecting. I mean, A0 to A5, we can connect our sensor anywhere. Okay, from A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Now, all these pins contains ADC. They contain what? ADC.